In an insane world, one voice stands out among the others. Ladies and gentlemen,
the irate prostate.
Oh, okay. I wanted to do one for a diversity in comics. Dude, I'm right with you. These Marvel, oh my God, I've been reading Marvel since like the guy in the letters column, literally since 1974. Okay, I'm giving away my age here, but I could say I was reading from the womb, but that's bullshit. Here's a phenomenon that I've noticed, okay, and it doesn't have to do with kids as much as it does with parents, okay. And now the parents. Remember 10 years ago when American Idol was on TV every night and everybody was watching American Idol, and we would always just, crack up at some poor fucking idiot kid that gets up there and can't sing worth a fucking flip, and Simon Cowell just says, "It was terrible, you need to get a real job, please quit, don't ever fucking sing again." And they would be like, "Fuck you, man, my mom says I'm the greatest singer in the world." That is the problem, okay? Is that we went through this whole period in the late 70s and 80s of this self-esteem movement. Okay, it was geared towards the educational system. It was actually geared, correctly applied. It was geared towards impoverished children that had poor self-esteem. Okay, but when you give that to the pro self-esteem thing to a kid with normal self-esteem, you create what's called a narcissist, a malignant narcissist, okay? So I've got a whole crop of these malignant narcissists now that are getting jobs, like that editor that you're talking about for the Iron Man magazine. She's like 22 years old. She spent most of her life thinking that she was far more better and smarter and prettier and faster and better than she really is, okay? She's a malignant narcissist that was created. They spent all their life with their brains and their minds interfaced with the internet. They get this keyboard courage is what they call it. And so you've got this idiot editor who's completely out of fucking touch, obviously doesn't know anything about the value of a customer, ripping the guy a new asshole for making a comment that was valid. I'm right with you. And there's another thing with, being an artist, you picked up on it like I do, is that a lot of these comic book artists, they have, they rely back on symbols, like they draw eyes a certain way, they draw female. If you look at the Walking Dead as a great example, the artist is great. It's Charlie Adler. He's a classic British artist that's been drawing forever, but he's got some classic, artistic. It's not laziness, but it's just it's habitual stuff, and that's the way he can create. Kirby used it too. It's the way that crank stuff out highly voluminous and on time, because creating good comic books about being on time. Editors got to have that ready for press. So there's a give and a take that. But yeah, if you'll notice, Charlie Adler, he'll always have that female. With the freckles, and he draws mouths a certain way. So there's, artists rely on that kind of stuff, and they're lazy. You picked out the cover for the magazine where it was basically a figure and some kind of machine thing behind her, and then the background was just a solid color, with some kind of window. Light, implying there's light coming from a window. It was really bad. You've spot on with that shit. I think that computers, I don't think people, the guy that's doing Secret Empire is very good at utilizing computers, and that whole artistic team, they're good. But, I've been watching Marvel for the past 5 years, and it's been like watching somebody commit seppuku with a fucking butter knife. It's just been, oh, God, painful to watch. And they're literally destroying themselves from the inside out. I totally agree with you, man. You know, Hunter S. Thompson called the hippies, he called them the Generation of Swine, and it always confused me. But in retrospect, I see exactly what he's talking about. You know, what we were saying, I was talking about diversity in comics, you know, that phenomenon that I was talking about with the writers and the artists now that are in their mid-40s. You know, these are the people, the students of the Generation of Swine. You know, they went to college and they had these, you know, these hippie professors like Ward Churchill, if you remember him. If you don't, look him up. He's a brilliant man. You know, these bullshit hippies that you know, espouse neo-Marxism and all that stuff, and you've got these writers that are their suck-ups. They're the suck-ups to the Generation of the Swine. So what would that be? The suck-ups to the Generation of the Swine would be the swinelets. I don't know. It's hit me because I've been thinking about this stuff for a while, especially the whole American Idol thing. It was a beautiful metaphor to see all these horrible people with all this this narcissism just come up and get slaughtered by. That's why it was so fun, because you know, we see these people and we know that they're inherently fucked up, and nobody tells them, man, you know, dude, you're full of shit. I'm a real comic book person. I'm not, you know, not one of these people that are going to say, you know, well, I'm older, so I'm cool. I read Archie a couple of times and Richie Rich comic books, so you know, I'm comic book cool too, you know, because you know, people like me got their asses kicked a lot, you know, back in the day. So you know, we paid for our nerddom. All right, so if you didn't pay, don't claim it, man. It's like those old people that said they went to Woodstock and shit, and they didn't go. Okay, posers are posers, no matter, you know, whether you say you went to Woodstock or whether you say you read comic books and you didn't do it. You know. Anyway, I get off the subject, but I'm a big fan of Captain Cummings, and he turned me on to this dude, Diversity in Comics. So I'm going to link to both of their channel pages, and I'm going to link to this specific video that I'm talking about that Diversity in Comics brought up. Okay, so this little rant will like have, you know, make sense, but I really want you to check him out and sub both of them. I think they got some really, especially both of them, man. They both got a lot of really important stuff to say. There's a lot of stuff that's paralleling, especially Marvel right now. That's kind of like an echo, you know, with the whole anti-SJW thing, and the way that some of that stuff, you know, came out. It's showing right now. It's showing up in Marvel Comics, and there's been a whole backlash. So if you're not familiar with it, you might want to catch up on stuff, you know, by checking out Captain Cummings and Diversity in Comics. Both of those guys are spot on, and there's a bunch of other, you know, and look at who they're linked to, because they're the ones that are, you know, based on this shit. So and you know, it's like I'm just a reader, so it's like you know, some of their comments caught my eye, but you know, Cummings and I, you know, we did a stream a couple weeks ago, and it was cringy as fuck. I was like, you know, it was my first one, so I'm still, you know, apologizing for that. All right, so I'm just trying to make all this stuff make sense. Prostate out.